So you're wondering whether you're strong enough for crow? Let us answer that question once and for all. First of all, I'm really happy that you're here because that means you're looking to remove that thought from your brain. Maybe you came here thinking, oh, I'm not strong enough, I've been trying this, I don't know how to do chaturanga, whatever. And the fact that you're here already shows me that you're committed to changing something, committed to replacing that thought in your brain, or at least challenging that thought in your brain. So let's get started. If you have 2 blocks, take them. If you don't have them, that's fine. We can do without, but it's better if you have 2 blocks. And entertain me on this one. Take a little sheet of paper. You don't have to keep it. So it can be like something you're reusing. And I want you to write down on this sheet of paper 4 things. We're going to write flexibility. We're going to write wrists. We're going to write shoulders. And we're going to write core. And you leave a bit of space in the bottom like this. I don't know if you can see, just writing things down, flexibility, wrists, shoulders, and core, so we can check those off. You can pause, take your setting, find everything, and then come back to the video. Let's get started. So first of all, flexibility. There's some people that think that in order to do crow, you have to be quite flexible because in the traditional alignment for crow, they ask you to bring your knees all the way towards your armpits. Now, I do not teach like this. I don't care about traditional alignment. I care about whatever works for you. So the actual flexibility for crow, I would say 99% of the people have it because you can tie your shoes. And if you can tie your shoes, you can get your elbow on top of your knee. So this is the flexibility that you need for crow. You do not need to get your knee all the way towards your armpit. You just need to get your knee on top of your elbow like this. So if you can tie your shoes, you can probably get your elbow on top of your knee. If you have that, then you can check that off, put a big check mark. After flexibility, we are done with that. You're flexible enough. You don't need anything more. Second, for the wrists. So for the wrist test, we're going to come into all fours. And then from all fours, I want you to lean forward just a little bit and then push down with your fingers onto the mat to bring you back. So I could bring myself back without the fingers, just with my body. I want you to lean a little bit forward. It's really very little. You see my shoulders are on top of my fingers. And then I want you to push down with your fingers to bring you back. So feel that the strength is coming from your fingers pushing down on the mat, bringing you down. So here I lean forward, I push down with my fingers, and so it brings my body back. You can do that a few times. See how that feels? It sometimes feels like the muscles in your forearms are activating, right? You can also feel maybe the palm of your hand, or you can feel your fingers pressing down. But if you have this, if you can push yourself back from all fours, not even from a plank, from all fours, then you have the strength that you need in the wrists. So we can check that one off. The wrists. There's a second test for the wrists, which is a matter of weight. Now, I'm assuming you do yoga. So if you do yoga, you do downward facing dog. I don't care if you do a pretty downward facing dog. It can be with your knees bent or whatever. In this downward facing dog, you're putting already a lot of weight on the wrists. And if you go into a plank, or even into a half plank with your knees down, you're putting actually a lot of your weight on the wrists already. So if you can do those things, you can do the downward facing dog, even if it's not pretty, and you can do either a plank or a low plank with your knees down onto the ground, putting the weight onto your hands, then same, your wrists are strong enough to hold your weight. That's not the issue. So you can even add a second check mark here for the wrists about holding your weight. So actually you're holding your weight on your wrists a lot more than you think. You're holding it already when you're doing the planks, the downward facing dogs, and many other yoga poses. It's just you're not using the fingers. So I care more about the finger test, about pushing yourself back. Okay. Let's move on to the shoulders. So for the shoulders, it's better if you have the blocks, but if you don't have the blocks, that's not an issue, okay? So we're gonna take the blocks. We're gonna put one middle height and one top height. So I want the blocks to be higher than my elbow, okay? The blocks here are way higher than my elbow and lower than my shoulder. So depending on how tall you are, I'm tiny. So maybe for you it means putting the blocks like this. If you're very tall, I would like the blocks to be more or less in the middle, in between your elbow and your shoulder. So for me, that means putting one mid-height and one higher height. And then from here, I want you to bring your knees here in between your hands. So I'm kneeling down. I have my hands, I have my knees in between my hands, and the blocks are here in front. Now from here, I want you to come onto your tippy toes so that it's a bit easier to lean forward. And then I want you to bend your elbows and touch the block with your shoulder. Maybe this was a bit too far. You can come a little bit closer. You can now check, you know, the distance. For me, it was a bit too far, again, because I'm tiny. So maybe for you, the hand distance was okay. I'm tiny, so I need to come a little bit more forward. I'm bending my elbows a little bit back, and then I'm touching the shoulder, the blocks with my shoulder. And then I can hold this here for like 5 to 10 seconds. I can hold this for 10 seconds. Elbows going back. Then that means your shoulders are strong enough. Now you might be like, what? I do not believe you. I thought I needed to do chaturangas. I can link one of my students. She is doing crow, no problem. She cannot do chaturanga. She was asking me on the community how to improve her chaturanga because she just collapses down. And I think she is one of many, many proofs. You do not need to be able to do a full chaturanga in order to do crow. What you actually need is just to be able to lean forward, elbows back, not arms straight, that's even harder. So just elbows back, bending the elbows, and touch the blocks with your shoulder. This is the angle that we're gonna use in crow most of the time. We're not gonna come any lower. So if you can hold this, you might even be feeling a little bit of core in this pose, a little bit of core, a little bit of shoulders. This is actually quite close to the actual crow. So you can check those shoulders off, okay? Now, I can give you an extra test for the shoulders. For this one, it is not required. You can do this in order to do crow, but if you can do this, it means you're way stronger than you need. So I'm gonna give it to you anyway, okay? Not chaturanga, but half chaturanga. So we're gonna come here onto the knees. We're gonna lean forward, find this half plank with the knees down onto the ground. And then from here, I'm gonna lower down, not even all the way. Remember that angle we said before? So my shoulders are still above my elbows. If you can hold this here, you don't even need to come up. If you can hold this here for like even less than 5 seconds, then you're way stronger than you need. So I don't know if you see me on the video, but if I come here, my arms are shaking. My arms are shaking and I am on my knees. I am holding this half chaturanga. This is way, way more strength than you need for actual crow. In crow, I am not shaking, okay? So if you can do this, then you're way, way stronger than what you need for crow. You can be like, do the shoulders. They're totally okay. I'm totally strong enough. So for the last one, the core, I know the core and the shoulders are the things that people get blocked on the most. For the core, what you need is to be able to bring your knees towards your chest, towards your arms, and not move them anymore. It's really not that much strength. And the way to test it is you're gonna come lay down on your mats. Lay down and then bring your knees towards your body. Bring your arms here on top of your knees, and then I want you to round your spine, lift so that you can bring your knees on top of your elbows. I want your knees to be above the elbows, not below, not here, but above the elbows. And then I want to check if you can hold this for 10 seconds. Even less, I would say. 10 seconds is already a lot. So you can stay here. I'm lifting my head, my shoulders a little bit so that I can reach my knees. So it's either reaching your knees down or reaching with your elbows up, but then you're holding here casually, bringing the knees to the elbows. Then this means you have enough core to hold crow, okay? You don't need anything more. Oh, I'm starting to feel it now. After maybe, I've been talking for like maybe 20 seconds, I'm starting to feel the core here. And in crow, I don't really feel the core at all. It's working less. So if you can hold this for 10 seconds, you're totally fine. For the core, you can take your sheet and you can go like check the core is out of the question. I'm going to give you a second one, same as before. This exercise is going to be way harder than what you need for crow, but if you can do it, then you know for sure like core is not going to be an issue, okay? So the exercise is going to be like a low boat pose, not low, but like with the knees bent, boat pose. We come here and then we lean a little bit back. Same thing here with the knees under the elbows, on top of the elbows, and then we're just going to balance here in this boat, this crow boat, okay? So this one, it's gonna be way harder in terms of core. I feel my core already. It's gonna be way harder in terms of core than the actual crow pose. So if you can do this and you can hold this for 5 seconds, then you're way stronger than what you actually need for crow, and you can be like core out of the question. You can put 7 check marks around the core. You have the core that you need. So let's take a look at our sheets. I'm assuming for most of you, you actually have the flexibility and the strength that you need. If you don't, send me a little message on Instagram. Tell me which part of it is missing. I can send you some exercises so you can work on that and build that strength that you're lacking, and then we take it from there. Now, for the rest of you, if you have all of these check marks here, I want you to please entertain me and write down on your sheet, I am strong enough to do crow. So I'm going to do it with you. I am strong enough to do crow pose. Now, if you're a rebel and you ignored me and you don't have a little sheet of paper, or even if you have the little sheet of paper, I want you to say it out loud as well. I am strong enough to do crow. And we're going to do it one more time. I'll explain right after why I'm doing this. I am strong enough to do crow. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that for a lot of you, probably you've been telling yourself for weeks or months or even years that you're not strong enough. And that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You have been telling your brain a reality, your brain believes that reality, and now you have to overwrite that. And a very powerful way of saying that, of overwriting that reality, is writing it down, saying it out loud, or even better, telling it to other people. So if there's someone else in your house right now with you, your partner, your child, whatever, just be like, hey, I am strong enough to do crow. Okay, so congratulations. What happens from here? The reasons you haven't been able to do crow are not strength. This is what people believe. This is not a limitation for most of the people. The limitations are going to be usually around technique. So you don't have the right technique. You tried, but then you don't get it, you don't know how to do it, and then you fall down or something happens and you don't want to try again. It's not explained in yoga classes. You go to a yoga class and teachers are like, if you have crow, or if crow is part of your practice, then you do it. And obviously, if no one explained it to you, it's not part of your practice. So you're missing that understanding, and it's a bit overwhelming, right? Another reason can be it's scary. It's a scary pose because you start leaning forwards and you feel like I'm going to fall on my face and I'm going to break a tooth. So I'm exaggerating a little bit, but fear is another limiting factor for this. So for a lot of people, it's also easier to tell themselves, I'm not ready, I'm not strong enough, than to face that fear or to face the overwhelm of not knowing what steps to take. And the good news here is that all of those things are extremely easy to fix. I'm gonna leave a link below to a crow program. It's a mini program. It takes 6 days, 15 minutes a day. You can do it at home with this same setup, couple of blocks, your mat, that's everything you need. And I give you feedback also. I'm there with you to solve your issues, to give you feedback, to help you out if you get blocked. And the reason I'm teaching this, the reason I love teaching this, is because for me, crow, or learning arm balances in general, has really been a life-changing experience in terms of confidence. And I want to share with you some of the things that my students have told me. So I asked them, what has changed in your life after you learn how to arm balance? And I had these amazing responses. One of them was saying that it taught her that she can cut up goals into smaller pieces, and now she is working towards bigger goals in her life because of what she learned working through arm balances. Another one was telling me that she felt more empowered and more confident, and all of these beliefs that she had, that she's not strong enough or so on, this empowerment then went into her life outside of the mat, and she brings that with her everywhere. And Look at this one. Like, this one was incredible. She told me that it gave her the confidence to actually apply for an MBA after years of not studying math, which is such a life-changing experience, I believe. So I want to share this with you. I want you to feel this confidence. I want you to feel this empowerment that comes from doing hard stuff on your mat and facing those fears and facing those limiting beliefs. So I'm giving you a special offer to join the CROW program, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you on the other side.